Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate day number 828. Excuse me, 828. July the 4th, 2019, Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Well, happy Independence Day to everyone out there. My guess is most of you are going to do what the rest of us are doing, which is grilling out, launching lots of fireworks, and hopefully getting a day off work. That's three things I like about July 4th. A lot of food, a lot of fireworks, and we don't have to work. So hopefully you're all getting that same deal, and everybody out there enjoy yourselves and be safe. Don't drink and drive. Don't hold on to them fireworks too long. They will blow your hand off. And remember why we're celebrating this day. Of course, we're celebrating our independence. Yes, we are. Now, let's go ahead and cover some of the news, but just FYI, I have no idea what condition I'll be in tomorrow at this time, so there'll not be a TowerGate video on Friday. There'll not be a TowerGate video on Friday. But I'll be back on Saturday morning, and there probably won't be a whole hell of a lot going on. Now, if something should happen, it's like really important, I'll do a video. But I don't expect much is going on tomorrow with the exception of the big parade, Trump's parade in D.C., which he's going to put a lot of emphasis on. Of course, he's going to give a speech and, of course, highlight the military and things like that. And he's going to roll out the tanks and the fighter jets. And I think a lot of that's just because I think he wants to do it. He really enjoys that stuff. And it's part of his overall presentation. But I think some of it is he just loves to trigger the left because he knows that they're going to go insane when they see tanks and fighter jets and military vehicles and all this military stuff. It's going to drive them absolutely nuts. The idea of celebrating America will drive many of these leftists absolutely out of their minds. Remember, these people despise America. They want to destroy America. They hate everything it stands for, which is why they are the enemy. And make no mistake about it, they are the enemy. We can't work with them. We can't negotiate with them. We have to defeat them. We must defeat the enemy. And we know who they are. They're on the left. They are communists, my friends. Straight up commies. Red diaper, doper babies. That's what they are. Now, let's get to some of the news here. Well, it looks like the ratings for June are out, and unbelievably, Rachel Madcow's ratings have fallen even more. She continues in a free fall. There doesn't seem to be any bottom to this. They kind of thought it would bottom out after a few weeks after, the Mueller report came out. She took a big hit there in May, and they were kind of thinking maybe they could recover her numbers a bit, but nope, they're continuing to fall. She has lost nearly 1 million viewers in the last 12 months. She's lost nearly 500,000 in the last 4 months. So, I don't know if they can rebuild her reputation or not, but they're paying her a hell of a lot of money. And, remember, Madcow was really she's pretty much the anchor for MSNBC. She was their big draw. She's the one who brought people to MSNBC. All their other shows are suck. They suck. They have no ratings at all. It was Madcow that was bringing people to that network, and now she's in free fall, so it's not just affecting her numbers, it's affecting all of NBC's cable ratings. So things are going extremely well for us. They're going very badly for MSNBC and Madcow personally. Her ratings continue to fall. I'll be interested to see in July if they fall even more. So there you go. I mean, she lied to people for, my God, over 2 years. Straight up lie. And still, I mean, she might have been able to rescue herself if she would have come out and just come clean. But she didn't, and she still hasn't. She's still looking for Russia collusion, I swear. And people think she's nuts now. And they think that they were nuts for watching her or listening to her. What a mess. Also, to add insult to injury, apparently they don't care much about ratings or making money over there at MSNBC, because in addition to the bad news from the ratings coming out and seeing how they got hammered in the ratings, not just Mad Cow, but across their entire cable network. Every show got hammered. Nobody has good ratings at MSNBC. But in addition to that, MSNBC is not going to air President Trump's 4th of July celebration in Washington. They're not going to cover it. That's another ratings killer because a lot of people will be tuned into it. So that's okay. They'll go to Fox or somewhere else and they'll watch it there. I mean, if you're wanting to drive your news network into the ground, follow the model of MSP, MSNBC, or CNN because, it's amazing to see how those two cable networks have fallen. And they continue to fall in the ratings. So we'll just keep watching their demise. And I think Trump's right. When he leaves office, there'll be no reason for them to exist. Yes, and for those of you who didn't hear this, President Trump is going to be holding a rally in North Carolina on the exact same day of the Mueller testimony. The day that Mueller is supposed to testify to Congress, Trump is going to be heading to North Carolina. Hey, there you go. Patty and Mara have to be pretty happy about that. I'm not sure if they're going to go, but anyway, Trump's coming to North Carolina. Congrats to you two. Maybe we'll see him there. We'll be watching the Trump rally in North Carolina. And we'll hey, there's Patty. There's Mara. Up on stage with Trump. That would be awesome. Alrighty. Uh-oh. Paul Manifort may have a legal opening to challenge his conviction. John Solomon did an interview with Oleg Deripaska, and in that interview, Deripaska reveals that he told the FBI that he did not believe Manafort would represent any Russian interest, and he gave several really good reasons why. Now, this could be a possible Brady violation by the FBI. In fact, it appears to be a pretty clear Brady violation, because the FBI was obligated by law to disclose that Deripaska information to Manafort and his lawyers, the courts, and the public. Not doing so is a violation of the Brady law. So now it appears that Manafort's lawyers, who have been, actually John Solomon contacted them and sent them the video of the interview. And having watched the video interview now, one of the lawyers for Manafort is looking into possibly going to court and bringing this to the court's attention. Withholding this information is a violation of the Brady Act. There's no question about it. It's very cut and dry, very clear. So now it looks like Manafort may have a card to play. And there's also penalties, criminal penalties, for the FBI for knowingly withholding this information. And there could also be civil litigation as a result of all of this as well. So, I watched that interview, and Deripaska is pretty impressive. You can tell in the interview he's Russian. His English is pretty decent. It's not great English, but it's pretty decent. You can tell what he's saying. He impresses me as being pretty smart and a player. He's pretty crooked. There's no question about that. He's your typical Russian oligarch, and he plays around with a lot of corrupt people and things and such. But I got the feeling during the interview that he was pretty much being candid with his answers. That the questions John Solomon was asking, I didn't get the impression he was lying about anything. So and he's a billionaire. So most billionaires are not stupid. So he's a reasonably impressive character. I think that Manafort could certainly feel comfortable having Deripaska testify. Keep in mind, Deripaska had sued Manafort over a bad business deal. But even though he had sued Manafort over a bad business deal, maybe the FBI thought that was the reason that Deripaska would be willing to work with them to try to help them frame Manafort. But Deripaska said no. I had some bad business deal with him, but that's business, okay? That's business. What you're talking about is crazy stuff. And he says he repeatedly told the FBI when they pressed him, and he said they continued to press him to try to get him to help them do their Trump-Russia collusion thing. And he continued to tell them, he said, you guys are, you're crazy. This just doesn't make any sense. I think it's ridiculous. It's silly. I'm not going to be participating in any of that because I just think it's crazy. It's you're barking up the wrong tree, is what he told them. But they continued to try to apply the pressure on him to get him to help them try to frame Trump and Manifort. And he didn't want any part of that. He also tells Sullivan, again, he reiterates what he said on previous occasions. He said that he believes that the Trump-Russia collusion was balderdash. That was his word, balderdash. And that's exactly what he told the FBI. And they continued to try to pressure him. And he just continued to tell them, they're nuts. That the whole thing is balderdash, is what he told them. Now, we have this fool. I don't know if you saw this guy. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I actually thought it was like something from The Onion. But I actually looked at the video. I saw the story, then I went and looked at the video from, again, our those hoots over at MSPMSNBC, who are obviously on the crazy train and are on the way down the tubes and the ratings wars. So MSPMSNBC has this guy, Eric Dyson. Now, I've seen this guy in there before, and he always says stupid things. But I think this is by far the stupidest thing I've heard him say. And I'm really surprised that MSNBC would have let someone come on their airwaves and say what he said. I mean, the day before 4th of July. Those people must hate America so much, it's just unbelievable. And they must not think that there's any patriotic people left in the country or something, or else they're just targeting a very specific group of people. It's a small group of people as well. Because they let this guy, did not challenge him. 3 people on the panel right there, the host and 2 other people, let this guy say the following things without challenging him at all. In fact, they seem to agree with him. So, essentially he said 2 things that were really offensive. The first thing he said that the American Revolution is just like Nazi Germany and the KKK. The American Revolution is just like Nazi Germany and the KKK. How is the American Revolution in any way, shape, or form anything like Nazi Germany and the KKK? I mean, this doesn't make any sense. But this is the type of people that they'll bring on to MSNBC to put in front of their viewers as if he's someone that we should listen to or take seriously. This guy is this guy's nuts. I've seen him on there before, but this is I mean, I can imagine. I mean, I'm just thinking, average, ordinary Americans watching this, I mean, how do they not get up and throw their TV out the window, or at the very least change channels and never go back to MSNBC again? I mean, what kind of people are watching MSNBC that they believe that their audience would like to hear this type of garbage? Then he goes on to say that the American flag is a symbol, no different than a swastika. The American flag is a symbol no different than a swastika. Man, oh man. And this guy is being held up as a, someone we should listen to. As some sort of a guy from academia. An educated man that we should all listen to. Hard to believe that people would tune into a network that would pump this type of crap. It's absolutely sickening, man. Sickening. Oh, but it gets even worse. That is, if you're crazy Uncle Joe Biden, the best thing that Biden could do right now, I'm telling you, get out, Joe. Get out. Get out now. It's only going to get worse. Only going to get worse, crazy Uncle Joe. And apparently he can't keep his son on a leash because his son, for some reason, goes out and does this interview with a New Yorker magazine. And he yesterday we talked about the fact that he said, oh yeah, I was doing business with the Chinese, getting a backdoor deal while my dad was VP, and oh yeah, we discussed it on the plane. After Joe Biden had just said, no, I never discussed with my son any of his Chinese business dealings. Man, oh man. But now we have Hunter Biden telling the New Yorker magazine that he was held at gunpoint while trying to buy crack cocaine, and after that he returned to the exact same place to deal with the exact same guy to buy more crack a few more times that same week. I mean, the vice president's son was a crackhead, kicked out of the military for smoking crack. Then he admits to being held at gunpoint while trying to make a crack deal. And then, after that, he survives that. Then he goes back to the same place, to the same guy that held him at gunpoint. Just within a week, several more times during that week. I mean, this is clearly a case of the apple not falling far from the tree. I mean, crazy Uncle Joe is dumb. Dumb, or dumb as you can get. Dumber than a doorknob. Apparently, his son is just as dumb as he is. Maybe dumber. Is that possible? Is that possible? Man, oh man. Drop out, Joe. Drop out now. It's only going to get worse. So, I haven't really talked at all about this stuff that went on out, I guess, in Portland with Antifa attacking this journalist who I understand is a gay, Asian, conservative journalist. I'm not really sure what his stripes are, but regardless, those things to me don't matter. He's a journalist, okay? He's out there covering the Antifa rally. He's attacked by them. I'm sure many of you have seen the video. Now he's got legal representation. His lawyer's going to sue the hell out of these people. At this point, I support the First Amendment, free speech. People have a right to free speech and that. But when it turns into people attacking people, especially with clubs and brass knuckles and God knows what else, tire irons, bicycle chains. I mean, that sounds like some of the gang activity that goes on in the inner city, and things like that between rival gangs. But Antifa does this to normal people, okay? Not gang people. People who just show up to do a protest rally or something like that. And of course, we know about what's going on in Portland. We've been seeing this for a very long time. The cops there seem to stand down and do nothing. I'm not sure how you could do that. Even if I wasn't a cop, I don't know if I could stand by and watch somebody being assaulted by a group of thugs. I think I would have to go in and try to help the guy out, and maybe take out 3 or 4 of the thugs while I'm at it. But they certainly did nothing, and I assume that that's going to end up in some sort of a lawsuit. Somebody's probably going to get sued. I would think either the city or the police or both or something. I can't imagine there not being some sort of a civil lawsuit filed there in the city of Portland, because the cops, or quite honestly, should have responded to that, and they did not. And they were right there, and they did not respond. But at this point, Antifa is not just another group. These people are a radical. They're communist, by the way. I've watched a lot of their videos. They are communist, okay? I don't know why they call themselves Antifa. They should just call themselves the communist. I mean, they are communist. If you listen to any of them, when you can get them to say anything, that's what they're talking about. They want communism. That's what they want. And so anyway, I think it's time at this point. Again, they're not just a normal group. They are a violent group. They're attacking people who are doing nothing more than exercising their First Amendment rights. And I'm a little concerned at this point. Bill Barr's been around for a while now, and you have Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray. They don't appear to be doing anything. But, back in the good old days, a group like this would have been investigated, infiltrated, and broken up, and shut down, and taken out. At the very least, they would have been on every city police's list of people to watch out for. And if they even got a sniff that these guys were going to be having some sort of a organized get-together, there would have been extra cops on hand waiting for them to attack somebody, and they would have got the hell beat out of them. They would have got the hell beat out of them, exactly what should happen. But at this point, you look at this group, and I'm telling you, these are not just a bunch of grassroots communists. These guys are being backed with money. Backed with money. And if Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray, when he gets off the golf course, he may want to launch an investigation into who the hell is funding Antifa. Where is that money coming from? Oh, I have a pretty good idea. I have a pretty good idea where that money's coming from. That funds Antifa. But it's high time for someone to investigate that and find out who is bankrolling these communist thugs. And they get away with this stuff in these liberal cities. If you notice, that's where they function. That's where they operate, in these liberal cities. They don't come to, they'd never come to my county. Well, they could come to my county, but they would literally. I mean, I live in a type of place. It's hillbilly country out here. The average hillbilly, around here, if they saw this group of idiots with their masks and their clubs and stuff walking down the street, people look at them like they were crazy, and if they damaged any property or attacked anyone, they would have more hillbillies on them than they could possibly imagine, and they would literally get the hell beat out of them. They'd all be carried out of this county on stretchers. They wouldn't walk out under their own power. Let's put it that way. They won't come here, and they know that. They know they would never last long. They could just take a drive down the main strip of the town I live in here and figure out pretty quick. This ain't the type of place we want to hang around. These people look like hillbillies and rednecks, man. And they walk around with guns, gun racks in their vehicles, guns on their hip. They look pretty crazy. A lot of bikers around here. I don't think so. I think we'll go somewhere else where we can do our nastiness with a liberal mayor or a liberal police chief or a liberal city administrator, city manager who will stand down, who won't do anything and let us do whatever we want. The crap that you see Antifa pull, they would never do that around here. I can assure you of that. Our sheriff would not tolerate that for even a second. It'd be over quick. In fact, I think that probably I think we have a masking law here, but just seeing a group of these people walking down the street, someone would call the cops. Cops would show up on the scene. They would surround these people. They would rip their mask off. If these people said anything to them, they'd be arrested and drug away. If they had weapons and stuff on them, absolutely 100% sure, they'd be in a lot of trouble. So anyway, there's a couple problems here. One is the liberal establishment that loves these guys because they're communists, and the other problem is that Christopher No Shit Sherlock Ray is not doing his job. By now, these people should have already been shut down. We've seen enough, and somebody is bankrolling these guys. Somebody's bankrolling them. Okay, it's time to get to the bottom of that. No Shit Sherlock Christopher Ray. This guy's horrible. I wish Trump would fire him. Ugh. Papagalopoulos. I check his Twitter. I check Papagalopoulos and Paul Sperry Twitter every day. Today, Pops tweeted out, "Whoever is keeping Mifsud in hiding must have a very serious reason for doing so. I feel terrible for the guy. He's underground. His wife left him. He's on someone else's payroll to keep quiet. Even that bozo Stefan Halper is coming up for air to speak at a spy conference later this month." Exactly, and it's what Devin Nunes said the last time he was on Fox. He said, we spent $40 million on the Mueller investigation, took 2 years, and we still don't know what the deal is with the guy who is the only one on the planet who knew about Hillary's stolen emails, allegedly, and they never got to the bottom of that. That is the reason we know that Mifsud is some sort of a Western intelligence asset. Because if he was a Russian agent who legitimately was working for the Russians to drop this information on Papadopoulos. It would be highlighted and bolded, and it would be the top news story, and Mifsud wouldn't be hiding. He would be a witness. He would be having books written about him. He would be doing interviews. He would be the shit. He would be the shit. Instead, they got this guy buried 2 or 3 blocks from the university there, Link campus, in a unit that's owned by the owners of Link University. Someone, like Papadopoulos says, is providing for Mifsud while he stays underground. Someone's protecting him. Someone's keeping him quiet. Someone's taking care of him, providing security for him. And there's a reason for that. I mean, this is why I know that he's some sort of a Western intel agent, or that he is somehow involved in a dirty way in this plot. Because if he wasn't, we wouldn't have all this secrecy. He wouldn't be in hiding. No one would have to protect him. He would just be like anyone else in this Spygate fiasco whose name we know about. He would be a hero, right? To the left, they'd be wanting to seek this guy out, do interviews with him. He'd be writing a book, making money, touring the world. I mean, if in fact he was legit, then he would be, out there saying, yeah, I'm a double agent. I was pretending to work for the Russians when I was actually working for the U.S., and I was able to accomplish my mission, and I gathered this information, and I passed it along to Papadopoulos, and of course that's how we got the Russia investigation started. That's how we, brought down the evil orange Trump, the orange Hitler. I mean, he would be the hero to the left, and he should be. But the whole way that this thing's going with Mifsud, the fact that Mueller could easily have, the FBI has agents in Rome. They could have sent a couple guys over and talked to Mifsud and got a statement. They act like they have no way to find this guy. They can find anybody. They know exactly where he's at. They just don't want to talk to him. That's the truth. And there's a reason for that. It's all so obvious. It's all so obvious. I do hope that Durham and Barr are honest and they really do believe in equal justice. Because if they do, and if they are, we're going to get the truth about Mifsud. And that is that he was part of the plot. Who recruited him, how he was recruited, how that all went down, I don't know. But I can tell you, he's part of the plot. And yes, it is true that Stefan Halper, the fat man, is going to be giving a speech at Cambridge, where else, his old stomping grounds. Hey, and he's going to be there with all his good old friends, who are also likely involved in the coup. He's going to be speaking along with some other spy masters from the NSA, MI6, and GCHQ. This is going down sometime in July. Another one of the guest speakers is going to be Richard Dearlove, who also had a role to play. My oh my. Man, I'll tell you, if he's going to be there, you would think that there'd be a ton of journalists would want to go there, like Chuck Ross and other people like that, or maybe John Solomon, or, you'd think there'd be a lot of journalists, heading over to London to be there when Halper shows up there. I mean, so that they could, stick a microphone in his face and start asking him questions. You're going to have the dude right there. And be very interested to see some journalist put a microphone in his face and start hitting him with some questions. I don't think he would answer him. I just want to see his response and how he reacts to that. So, anyway, you guys have a good 4th of July. Enjoy the day. Be safe. I'll be back on Saturday with another TowerGate video, unless something major drops. But I expect it's just going to be a day full of partying and eating and all that kind of stuff. You guys all take care, and I'll be back on Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.